Hello, periods 1, 2, and 3. I am sorry I could not be here today, so I thought I would record myself as I am giving you the notes. You should have these notes in front of you, and then we can fill them out together. Alrighty? Obviously, if I go too quickly, you can pause the video so you can get caught up, and then unpause to keep going, okay? So this should be review. I know you guys did this in 5th grade, so we just want to make sure, because this is the second half of chapter 2, adding and subtracting decimals, multiplying and dividing with decimals. So adding and subtracting are going to be real quick, okay? I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Okay, 1 and 2 are adding. When you add and subtract decimals, you have to line up the decimal. It does not matter when you're adding which number you put on top or bottom, okay? It does matter when we are subtracting. When we're adding, it does not matter. I always just put the longer number on top. So 416 and 98 hundredths plus 21 and 7 tenths. We need to add a 0 for a placeholder. It's called annexing a 0. We're going to add like normal. 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 and 9 is 16. 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 8. 1 plus 2 is 3. 4 plus 0 is 4. You're going to bring that decimal straight down. So we have 438 and 68 hundredths. Number 2. I'm going to put 11.2 on top, but again, it does not matter. 7.80 at the bottom. I'm going to annex a 0 right there. Make sure those decimals are lined up and then start adding. 2 plus 8 is 10. 7, 8, 9. 1 and 0 is 1. Bring your decimal straight down. So we have 19. Subtraction for number 3 and 4. You must put the first number on top. Okay? So 55 is going on top. Guys, 55 is a whole number. I don't see a decimal. If you don't see a decimal, it's behind it. It's a whole number. It's 55 decimal. I'm going to need 3 zeros. Minus 13.796. Again, lining up those decimals, adding zeros as placeholders. Let's scooch this down so I can subtract. All right, guys. You cannot do 0 take away 6. You have to borrow, and this is where a lot of you make mistakes. You cannot borrow from a 0. You have to come all the way over to the 5. It becomes a 4. That becomes a 10, but you have to borrow from it. So it becomes a 9, and that becomes a 10, but you have to borrow from that one as well. It becomes a 9. The last one becomes a 10. Now I can subtract 10 minus 6, 9 minus 9, 9 minus 7, bring your decimal straight down, 4 minus 3, and 5 minus 1 is 4. So 41 and 204 thousandths. Number 4, it is subtraction. The first number must go on top. So I have 97.4 on top, minus 52 and 88 hundredths. You must add a 0 up here. 0, take away 8, you can't do it. The 4 becomes a 3, and the 0 becomes a 10 minus 8, which is 2. 3 minus 8, we cannot do it. The 7 becomes a 6, and the 3 becomes a 13 minus 8, which is 5. Bring your decimal straight down. So we have 44 and 52 hundredths. Okay. What if there are 3 numbers? Well, nothing changes. We add up all 3 numbers, we line up all the decimals, and we bring the decimal straight down. Again, 14, I don't see a decimal, so where's it at? Behind it. 14 is a whole number. It does not matter the order in which you line these up. However, I like to kind of go greatest to least, but you don't have to do that. 21 and 4 tenths, 17 and 33 hundredths. 14 is a whole number, so it's 14.00. And we can add a 0 up here as well. Now we can add all 3 numbers up. and bring your decimal straight down. So we should get 52 and 73 hundredths. And finally, number 6, 7 and 3 thousandths, plus 4 and 83 hundredths, plus 2 and 1/10. And again, I'm going to add in zeros as placeholders before I add. So we should get 13 and 933 thousandths. Okay, so again, if I went too quick, just pause, go back, rewatch, whatever you need to do. Second page on the back. I would like for you to pause the video and try 1 through 4, and then you can unpause the video when you're finished, and I will go over them with you. Okay, hopefully you've done 1 through 4. Hopefully you paused the video and didn't just wait for me. On numbers 1 and 2, they are adding. Again, it doesn't matter which number goes on top. I like to put the longer number on top. As long as those decimals are lined up, you are good to go. 516 and 92 hundredths, and I'm going to add 32 and 4 tenths, and I'm going to add a 0 as a placeholder. I'm going to add 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bring your decimals straight down. 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 and 1 is 4. 5 and 0 is 5. So 549 and 32 hundredths. Hopefully you got that correct. If not, change it, switch it, correct it. Number 2, I'm going to put 16.4 on top. You don't have to. It does not matter when you're adding, just as long as those decimals are lined up. And I'm going to add a 0 in there as a placeholder. 8 and 4 is 12. Bring your decimals straight down. 10 and 6 is 16, and 2. You should have got 26 and 20 hundredths. 3 and 4. The order does matter on these last 2. The first number has to go on top. 72 is a whole number. 1.472 thousandths. We are subtracting. 72 is a whole number, so the decimal's behind it. So you will have to add in 3 zeros. You cannot just bring down the 4, 7, and 2. It doesn't work like that. 0, take away 2, you can't do it. So we have to come all the way over to this 2 and make it a 1. That becomes a 10, but you got to borrow from it, so it becomes a 9. Got to borrow from it, that becomes a 9, and the last one becomes a 10. Now we can subtract. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 5. Bring that decimal straight down. And we should get 70 and 528 thousandths. Hopefully we did okay. Those zeros trick us up sometimes. Alrighty, last one. 83 and 1/10, y'all, has got to go on top. It's first. We're subtracting 62.45 from 83 and 1/10. You must add in a 0. Okay. 0, take away 5, can't do it. We got to borrow from the 1, make it a 0, and that 0 becomes a 10 now. 10 minus 5 is 5. 0, take away 4, can't do it. We got to borrow again. 10 minus 4 is 6. Bring your decimals straight down. 2 minus 2 and 8 minus 6. 20 and 65 hundredths. All right, period 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully that was easy peasy. If not, rewatch. Try some more, okay? You are now going to be given a worksheet for practice, okay? Make sure you line up those decimals and add zeros as placeholders. When you subtract, the first number must go on top, okay? If you get finished with the worksheet before the end of the period, feel free to go to IXL or Flash to Pass or read a book silently. I will see you next week.